Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, devotees. So, a warm welcome back to Prabhupada Lilamrt. We continue what we were discussing. You remember last week we only talked about the voyage of Srila Prabhupada from Kolkata to Boston and further to New York. So New York is where he disembarked from the Jaladuta finally, and then now he had to go to Butler, Pennsylvania, where his sponsor, Gopal Agarwal, is there. He doesn't know anybody else in America. He doesn't know Gopal Agarwal also. But he had written to Gopal Agarwal a few days before leaving that, dear Gopal, I am coming to your place and please make necessary arrangements to receive me. I am coming to New York and you are in Butler, Pennsylvania. Please arrange to pick me up from there. This much message Prabhupada sent. And also he sent a photograph so that they will not mistake. They will not pick up somebody else as Prabhupada. When Gopal Agarwal saw the photograph, he thought there can be no mistake. I can give this photo to anybody and there will be no one like Prabhupada disembarking from that ship and there will be no confusion. So Gopal Agarwal sent an agency to take care of Prabhupada, to bring him from New York to Butler, Pennsylvania. And one representative of that agency went. He received Srila Prabhupada and then he brought Prabhupada to Butler, Pennsylvania. So now we will see what happens. So this is a picture I picked up from Google. This is the road, Butler to Pennsylvania road. So in this highway, Prabhupada was traveling, and while traveling, he saw people being so busy, doing so many things. On the sides of the roads, he saw huge factories. There were huge oil refineries. There were so many steel works. There were so many other industries manufacturing various products. And on top of everything, he saw people busily going around doing something or the other. And then he saw huge billboards. This is typically American. Everything is huge, huge, huge. And these huge billboards, what they were advertising? Sense gratification. Everywhere. What would be considered a sin in India? What people would feel a little ashamed to do in public or even to share with others. I have a habit of drinking, or I have a habit of going to the prostitute, or I have some illicit connections with my neighbors. People would be ashamed to say that I use some drugs, I watch pornography. I don't know about today's India. At least some years ago, these things people will be ashamed to admit to the public. They know these are sins and I should not be doing. And I have uncontrolled mind and uncontrolled senses. And because of that, I am doing. But Prabhupada saw these were being advertised proudly. Oh, this liquor tastes so nice. This particular whiskey you should experience. Or here is a movie which is so vulgar, and not the word vulgar, but say something you can see nudity and you can enjoy it like that. Huge billboards advertising about gambling, advertising about liquor, or advertising about sex like that. Prabhupada was seeing. And Prabhupada was thinking, I have come here to tell people to avoid these very things. And this is what people are doing. So Prabhupada could see clearly how much people are sunk in Tamogud and Rajogud. Prabhupada had already seen it when he was in Boston, but now traveling on the highway, Prabhupada was seeing how badly the whole population is in the influence of the lower modes of nature. And Prabhupada felt so much compassion and pity for them. And Prabhupada, the determination to help them increased in Prabhupada's heart to execute the mission of his Guru or the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It became very strong in his heart. So here is we are starting with a letter he wrote to Sumati Morarji. You recollect who is this Sumati Morarji? Any of you?
One who provided free ticket in her ship, cargo
Yes.
ship.
Yes. And what is the name of the company? Anyone?
India
Steamship Company.
Steamship.
India Steamship Company. And where are the headquarters of this company?
Mumbai, Prabhuji.
Mumbai. But
Bombay.
yes. And Prabhupada, where did he embark into the ship? From where?
Kolkata. Calcutta.
That particular ship, Jaladuta, was leaving from Kolkata. And on what date Prabhupada left? That ship left?
13th August, Prabhuji.
Yeah. And what day was it?
Friday.
Very good. Thank you. So, and here is a letter that Prabhupada wrote to Sumati Morarji after he was in Butler, Pennsylvania. He wrote, listen very carefully. I have just taken small bits and pieces because otherwise it will become very big. Now I've just taken. Americans are prosperous and they are content with their prosperity. They are wealthy. They have all kinds of facilities. They have all kinds of luxuries, all kinds of comforts. They are content. And hence, they are interested in spirituality. This is Prabhupada's conclusion. They are interested in spirituality because materially they have everything. So the mind is turning towards spirituality. Why? Prabhupada is using the word content. Actually, if you are content, you don't turn towards spirituality. But Prabhupada is writing this because this material contentment will not give you complete satisfaction. So they are looking for something higher. Prabhupada is writing. So they are interested in spirituality. And Prabhupada is giving proof. What is this? There are many churches here in Boston. And people are attending the churches also regularly. So they are religious people. They are interested in religion. That means they are interested in God. They are interested in Dharma. Prabhupada is writing to Sumati Maharaj. Why he is writing all this? Then he goes on further. Schools are inviting me to speak. These are Christian schools. But because I am come from India and I have come with a particular philosophy, they want me to speak. And when I speak to the students, they hear me eagerly. So they are all interested in this knowledge of the soul, the knowledge of God. But the clergymen have fear that I will convert them. And Prabhupada says it's a natural fear that clergymen will have fear that Christians will convert to some other path. They will turn to Hinduism. So they don't want to expose the students so much to the philosophy what Prabhupada will speak. But the students themselves are eager to hear. And he is getting invitations from schools. So Prabhupada is seeing this, dichotomy. The leaders, they cannot completely stop Prabhupada, but they are not favorable to him. Even though they are curious, but they are not favorable. But as a population, Prabhupada finds that I can reach them directly. They are interested. I have to only find a way to reach them. So Prabhupada is not very much worried that the clergymen don't want him to preach. Prabhupada knows they will have this fear. Then Prabhupada says, conclusion, they don't know that service to Lord Krishna is a religion for all, including cannibals and aborigines. They don't know. So I have to tell them. Even to the clergymen, I have to tell them that Krishna worship is not a particular sect. It's not sectarian. It is a religion for all. Because once I explain to them who is Krishna, he is the father of all. Then where is God for different religions. There is only one God, and He's the God for all religions. So naturally, He is the God for Christianity, Islam, and everything. Service to Him is our duty, it's our goal, it's our purpose. So that way, Krishna worship is common even to cannibals and aborigines who don't know anything about God. So this is what Prabhupada wrote. This is a kind of an introduction. As given in the Prabhupada Lilamrt, I picked up and put it here. A little bit only I have given. Okay, so now Prabhupada has come to Boston. The representative put him on a bus, and that bus goes from New York to Boston. Sorry, not Boston, Butler, Pennsylvania, 500 miles away. So Prabhupada has a long travel on this traffic, and finally speeding at 100 kilometers per hour, and he is reaching Butler. And there is feverish activity, as I was saying. There is billboards everywhere, the madness of passionate enjoyment and sense gratification. All the four vices are being advertised at every mile. At every mile, these huge billboards are standing and telling, come and drink, come and do illicit sex, come and gamble, like that. So Prabhupada felt compassion. Prabhupada did not feel threatened. Prabhupada did not feel envy or hatred. Prabhupada was only feeling compassion. That is the nature of a Vaishnava. A true Vaishnava sees suffering as it is. They see sense gratification as suffering, because a soul is meant for something very, very high. But because the soul is trapped in a body, it is enjoying something very inferior and temporary and considering it as the goal of life. But one day you have to leave everything and go. And according to your karma, you will incarnate in another body. So Prabhupada is feeling compassion. Actually, we as Vaishnavas, we should also develop this mood of compassion towards non-devotees, towards sense gratifiers. Then only we can truly preach. If we develop any kind of hatred or envy or disengagement with such people, it's not truly a Vaishnava quality. Because we have to see that they are suffering. We have to see the sense gratifiers as suffering people. We have to look at the wealthy people who are rolling in millions of dollars and engaging in sense gratification. We should feel compassion for them. Even though they may feel, I have got everything. But still, you have to know that the soul is actually trapped. So that is the message. So ultimately, the bus reached, and Prabhupada got down from the bus, and there was Gopal Agarwal, his sponsor, waiting. He had brought his big car to take Prabhupada home, and he immediately bowed to Srila Prabhupada many times, and he said, welcome Swamiji, because his father had told him to receive him, and he has come to receive, and he drove him home. And all the time, Gopal Agarwal and his wife, they were in a mixture of embarrassment, disbelief, and wonder. Disbelief, because what kind of dress is he wearing? Can anyone come like this to America? He's wearing a dhoti, he's wearing a cloth cap, he's carrying an umbrella under his arm, he's carrying a suitcase, he's wearing rubber shoes, white rubber shoes, which is bathroom slipper. He's wearing like this. I disbelief, same time embarrassment. He is my guest. What my neighbors will think? What kind of man have you brought? Is he a relation? Shy and wonder, what does he come here for? Why did he come all the way on a ship from India? He's such an old sannyasi. What does he got to do here in Butler, Pennsylvania? So Prabhupada reached their home, and Gopal was married to an American woman called Sally Agarwal. Sally, her name. And they have two children, 3-year-old girl and a 6-month-old boy. They have two children. So Prabhupada enters into this family. And because they are so embarrassed, what they have done, they said, Prabhupada, this house will be inconvenient for you because we are, husband, wife, and 2 children. And, there is a living room. It's like a duplex house. Living room, small living room, a kitchen, and a bedroom on the ground floor. And on the first floor, 2 larger bedrooms and a landing. But because of embarrassment, they told Prabhupada, we have booked a room for you in YMCA. So Gopal Agarwal drove him to YMCA where Prabhupada checked into a room. And Sally Agarwal, she was afraid, no, neighbors will go on asking me, who is this man, who is this man? So better I will put it in the newspaper. In America, every locality, every city has got its own newspaper. No? So there she went, and along with Prabhupada, so Prabhupada made a self-introduction, and they requested, please publish. Many of the newspapers ignored him completely. But one Butler Eagle, one newspaper, published a very nice article about him, saying he is a very senior religious and Vedic scholar from India. He represents a very ancient tradition. He has come to distribute God consciousness to our people. He says that everything in this universe belongs to God. Everything in this world belongs to God. But people are forgetting God and claiming that everything belongs to them. Because of that, there is so much of quarrel and infighting, and there are wars, and people are never satisfied, and there is no peace. But we have to bring God consciousness to people if at all we want to have peace on earth. This message he has brought, like that. And he is writing books. He is already author of several books, like that they published. So people came to know. In the whole area, everybody came to know. And then Prabhupada was also telling Gopal, please invite your neighbors, let me talk to them. So every evening, there would be meetings in the house of Prabhupada. And many intellectuals would come, but they would look upon him very curiously. What kind of a personality is this? I have never seen wearing a saffron dhoti in that kind of in that part of the world. They have never seen. First of all, they have not seen Indians. Gopal was the first Indian to have settled in Butler. And they are seeing a truly traditional Indian man, a sannyasi. And they were, but very quickly, Prabhupada won them over by his goodness. They could see, here is a good person. The way he interacted with them, with a very open mind, with no prejudices. He was very openly interacting with them. And they saw his brilliance. When they asked the questions, so perfectly, sharply, concisely, Prabhupada answered them. Doubt after doubt, Prabhupada was able to answer very nicely from Indian traditions. On top of that, Prabhupada was quoting scriptures. Same time, Prabhupada was grave and humorous. On the one side is grave, very deep. Grave means what is going on in his mind, you won't be able to tell. Such a deep personality. But same time, he is humorous while interacting. So very quickly, people draw to him. He's so friendly, so nice. He's like a family man, like our father or grandfather. So people became very attracted to him. And they saw his tolerance. I will explain these little in the coming minutes. So, these are all Sally Agarwal is telling us. And here you see the child. This is the child that started walking while Prabhupada was there. The son, 6 months old son, started walking when Prabhupada was there. And when the first time the child, trying to stand up, finally he stood up and took 1 or 2 steps. Prabhupada got up from the sofa and was clapping. Like, giving respect. Oh, finally you stood up and you are walking like that. And Sally Agarwal was so happy to see this. Another thing about Prabhupada, so many people are coming home and they are introduced to Prabhupada by name. Introduced, that's all. Next time, wherever Prabhupada saw them, either they were in the supermarket or they were walking on the street or they were driving in a car, Prabhupada will say, so and so, hello, by name. Prabhupada. Imagine so many new people and all of them are white people. How? For us, we don't see much difference. If you see 10 Chinese people, you can't tell the distinction, the difference in features between them. But Prabhupada remembered them, once met. And that person, in one time he was in t-shirt, another time he was in coat, suit and tie, another time he was in some other dress, but no problem. Prabhupada recognized that person by name. And they were all very impressed. And Sally Agarwal says, he was the easiest guest to have. Even though they put him up at YMCA, Every day Prabhupada would come from YMCA. Morning, he will take his, he brought poha from India. That poha in milk, he will soak and he will drink it. And that milk, he will take from the refrigerator of Sally Agarwal. And they are non-vegetarians. Agarwals are typically vegetarian, but Gopal has settled in America, married an American lady, they have become non-veg. So when Prabhupada opens the fridge, he will see meat there. He will see cat food. They are having cat, they are having cat food. By the side of that, atta will be there, milk will be there, vegetables. Prabhupada did not say a word. Prabhupada did not complain. But Sally understood that he's a strict vegetarian and he will never touch or see even non-vegetarian. And she felt guilty. Prabhupada sensed it and Prabhupada said, don't worry. Don't think of it. Prabhupada said, don't think of it. It's all right. He put her at comfort and Prabhupada would take his food and he will take that milk like that. And afternoon, 11 o'clock, Prabhupada would start cooking in Sally Agarwal's kitchen. And Sally Agarwal recalls, he will not use more than one burner. Only one burner he would use. Have you seen that, how Prabhupada cooks? Has anybody seen?
Yes, Prabhuji,
yes,
I've heard Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
We've seen the
have
picture, Prabhuji.
Three-tire cooker.
Yeah, have you seen that? He
In
might
the
have-
same cooker, you used to keep all the things, it is said, no, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
In one vessel, he used to keep the rice, he used to keep the other, in the other vessel, he used to keep dal. And on top of that, he used to keep whatever vegetables need to be put and make a simple khichdi or something and finish it off.
Correct.
And
So
Sally
Prabhupada-
Agarwal used to be surprised.
Prabhupada carried it with him to America. So he would put it in one burner and she would be watching. She tells that, he will put rice at the bottom with some water. With that steam, the dal will cook, the vegetable will cook, one stroke, everything will be done. And he will make chapati, how? He will make the atta, knead it, and then with hand only he will make chapati. No rolling pin, with hand only, and would make nice chapatis. And first time she saw it, she thought, this looks good, I would like to eat it. Prabhupada understood. So Prabhupada said, all right, would you all like to eat it? So from that day, Prabhupada cooked for the whole family, maybe for 6 people, even for some guests. Prabhupada would cook. And they very happily they sat with Prabhupada and ate. Gopal Agarwal would go to office around 7:45 in the morning. Again at 11:30, 12, he will come home and together they will sit and take food. And every time Prabhupada would walk down and up to YMCA. Again, afternoon, after lunch, Prabhupada would go back to YMCA. Evening, he would come again. There will be a meeting in Gopal Agarwal's house. Prabhupada will take some milk only and Gopal will drive him back to YMCA. That last time. Rest of the time, Prabhupada will be walking. So Prabhupada is all the time walking. The whole town saw him. This amazing saffron person with a saffron cap and umbrella always with him. Like that, he became a familiar scene, even though he was looking very strange. And Prabhupada got opportunity to speak in the schools, colleges, universities. Somewhere they had a Vedic department also. There also Prabhupada went and spoke, and everybody was happy to hear him. And Sally Agarwal says, sometimes I used to worry how to engage him because husband has gone to work and Sally has to take care of the children. She has got household work and all. But then she saw Prabhupada would be simply sitting and chanting happily on his beats. He will never disturb her for anything. He will just go on chanting and she could see he is happy and he is peaceful. He is not bored at all. So she had no tension. And she felt so affectionate towards him, like a father-in-law. She had seen her father-in-law and she thought he's like him. And she, by seeing the simple nature of Prabhupada, his kind nature and his simplicity, she started loving him very quickly. He would not preach, even though he's vegetarian. He would never tell Sally, give up non-veg. Or she was a smoker also. She would smoke. The guests in the house would smoke. Prabhupada said, don't think of it. Or he would say, think nothing of it. So he put her in great comfort, put her at ease. So that was Prabhupada. He was never preaching, and everybody accepted him. And one day, the 3-year girl uh, uh, came from school. No, first time she went to the Bible school, and they taught her about Jesus. So when the girl came, immediately she looked at Prabhupada and said, "Swami Jesus, Swami Jesus." Amazing, no? And immediately Prabhupada told them, Prabhupada said, "A little child will lead them." This is actually a Christian song, which they teach in Bible school. Prabhupada saying, "Little child will lead them." Actually, Prabhupada meant, you don't know, but your little child knows that I am a messenger of God. Like that. And in one of the meetings, someone asked him, "What do you think of Jesus?" And Prabhupada said, "Jesus, oh, we respect him as the Son of God." And they became very happy, to know that Prabhupada accepts their Jesus Christ as Son of God. Then Prabhupada further said, "Actually, you are also Son of God. You all are Son of God." But that message, it's difficult for people to understand. But they were happy that he accepted Jesus as the Son. Okay. Now, here is the picture of Gopal Agarwal and Sally Agarwal. These two people later on became nice devotees of ISKCON. They visited many ISKCON temples. They participated in many discussions and interviews about Srila Prabhupada. So these are the two great souls who hosted Prabhupada first when he came to America. They brought him to America and they hosted him for 1 whole month. So these are these two great souls. And I saw in Google that Sally Agarwal passed away recently. I couldn't see about Gopal Agarwal. If you Google a bit, you may know more about them. But this much only I could search. So Prabhupada, as I said, he was cooking for the whole family. And Sally Agarwal became very dear to him. And Srila Prabhupada would go out with her when she went to the laundromat for doing her washing. Prabhupada would do his own washing. But in order to see the American way of life, Prabhupada would go out with her to the supermarket, to the laundromat. In the supermarket, he would be curious to see everything. Like vegetables are available in a cut form, cut and ready to cook. No need to even wash them. They are kept nicely in packets. So Prabhupada noticed and he was happy to see vegetables are available. So for me, food will not be a problem. I can always get my provisions from these supermarkets. So Prabhupada noticed that. He was also observing the American way of life because he has come to America for giving Krishna consciousness. He should know how they live. So every opportunity he used, he would go out with Sally Agarwal to see how people are dealing with things, dealing with life. And when she was cleaning the house with a vacuum cleaner, Prabhupada was so curious to see this machine and he would ask her so many questions. So all this endeared Sally, he was not acting like a god man, like I am superior to you, but rather he was acting more like part of the family, very simple and very humble. Same time, Prabhupada got opportunity to give many lectures, formal lectures and many informal meetings, as I was telling. But all the time this was happening, this is about 1 month period. From the time Prabhupada reached, about 1 month this was going. No one knew who this man is. Because Prabhupada told, I have written these books and I have come to sell these books. Please buy them. Because I have to write many more books and I will have to publish them. I need money. If you buy these books, with that money, I will maintain myself. I can also publish more books. So they thought Prabhupada is a Vedic scholar, a Pandit, who is translating books into English and he wants to distribute them. He has come for some donations like that and to popularize his books. They thought only that much. But Prabhupada's eyes and heart were on something much bigger, much wider. They only saw Butler, Pennsylvania, but Prabhupada was seeing the whole of the United States of America and beyond. He was looking at the whole world. He has come to give Krishna consciousness to the whole world. Right now, he's simply sitting like a small, humble guest in one of the houses in Butler, unknown to everyone. But That is what plan going on in the mind of Prabhupada. How amazing. How amazing. Prabhupada was thinking, will they understand what I have come to teach? Will they be interested in knowing this? Will they surrender to Krishna? Will they surrender to this Vedic knowledge? These questions Prabhupada was having, and he was exploring in Butler what is the potential for giving Krishna consciousness. And on 18th of October, Prabhupada left. Just 1 month he stayed. Sally thought he will stay here only and go back to India, correct? What do you think? Sally would have thought, he has come here now to America, he has done some preaching, he has sold some books, he has collected some money, he has made his name recognizable here. Now he will go back to India. He has 2 months visa, 3 months visa. He will leave. That's what. But then suddenly Prabhupada announced, I am going to New York. Butler is a small town, relatively. But New York is a huge city. Where you will go, where you will eat, where you will bathe, where you will sleep. So Sally, she has become so much attached to him like a father-in-law. No? She's feeling very protective towards him. And she's worrying. She says, I felt sick to think that he's going to New York all alone, 70 years old. But he had decided to go. And Prabhupada had no attachments. Sally thought Prabhupada is very comfortable here. Every day he's coming here, breakfast, lunch, dinner. He's going to stay in his room and he's going out giving meetings and all that. He's comfortable. He will not leave this place. But surprise and shock that he's leaving. So Gopal Agarwal taught Prabhupada how to take care of himself on the journey. And in New York, he gave him so many coins, For everything in America, put one coin and the door will open. Laundromat, put coin, laundromat will open and you can feed your clothes into the machine. Like for the bathroom, there are so many bathrooms in the bus station, railway station, but they are all automatically locked. You slide one coin and it will open and you can take your bath and you can change your clothes and all that. Then you come out. So like that he taught and he gave so many coins to Prabhupada. So for your bathing and other purposes, you can use this. And then he took him to the bus stand and he boarded him on the bus to New York. Gone, Prabhupada. One episode finished. No more connection to Butler, Pennsylvania. Prabhupada's a servant of Krishna. He's that way not attached to persons. His mission is to deliver the souls. He's not attached to persons as such. He has come to deliver souls. And here in this photograph, you can see Gopal Agarwal in the center, right? The other person standing near him, I am guessing only that he must be his son. We saw that boy, in the previous photo, I think. So they are guests in some ISKCON temple. I don't know which temple it is. I picked up from Google only. So this is Gopal. So they have all got their recognition later on. But at the time when they were serving Prabhupada, they did not know that he is such a great man or he is going to become so famous and he is going to establish a worldwide mission. They did not know. So in Butler, Prabhupada got the chance to validate many of his thinking. Number one, whether America, I can preach Krishna consciousness, whether people will accept. Number two, whether my English they will be able to follow, because I speak British English with a heavy Bengali accent. Americans have their own accent in English, British English is pure, and that too, Bengali accent. So Prabhupada found out that they are able to understand. Next is his own health. Now his health is stabilized. And for his food, he knows I can buy from the shops vegetarian food and I can cook. So Prabhupada is comfortable that from this point onwards, I can manage like that. So this is the place where Prabhupada got that assurance and he has boarded the bus. In New York, he knew one person, not personally. He knows someone who knows someone in New York. From India, he got this reference, Dr. Ramamurthy Mishra. And Prabhupada wrote to him when he was in Butler, and he got a reply saying, Swamiji, you are welcome. So Prabhupada went to New York and went straight away to Dr. Ramamurthy Mishra, MD. He's a regular doctor. But at the same time, he is a religious preacher and guru. He was maintaining his own ashram in the city of New York and also outside. Outside, he was having a sprawling ashram in a very natural setting. In the city, he had a place where people would come and would give them meditation classes. And there is also a yoga studio where people will come to learn yoga, Hatha Yoga. So Prabhupada was given a room in the same place where Ramamurthy Mishra was running his city-based ashram. Prabhupada had a room, and Prabhupada would cook for Ramamurthy Mishra also, because Ramamurthy Mishra at that time was very sick. He almost thought he would die. He was in such a bad shape, even though he's a doctor. But Prabhupada healed him by feeding prasadam. And Mishra recalled that he was really an incarnation of love. He nursed me back to health. It was not bread he gave me, it was prasadam. This was life. He saved me. Like that, Mishra recalled later on. But right now, Mishra is a teacher. He is a Mayavadi, Shankarite teacher, Advaitavad. Directly opposite to Prabhupada's teaching of devotion. Prabhupada is a Dvaitavad. God and the soul both are eternal. Soul is the eternal servant of God. That is our mission. But Mishra says all are one. Everything is one. So directly opposite. So Mishra was not very comfortable with that. And like a typical Mayavadi, I don't know how many of you have heard Chinmaya speaking, or the followers of Chinmaya speaking. But so Dr. Mishra was also in that same group. He was not a Chinmaya mission person. He was a school of Shankara. And very dramatically he would speak. Very showy, very English words like, oh, so lovely, so beautiful, like that he would speak. Very showy person, dramatic person. And many people would come. And he was called Uptown Swami, meaning he preaches to wealthy people. And he was himself a doctor, etc., etc. So this is going on. And he was not wearing saffron, he was a sannyasi. But he was wearing Nehru jacket or slacks like that, even though he was a sannyasi. And after a few weeks, Prabhupada was told, you cannot stay here. I will send you to my yoga studio. There is a private room, you can stay there. But the room was very small. It has no window. But Prabhupada had to stay there. In that room, you cannot even see sunrise or sunset. You cannot tell which time of the day it is. That kind of a room. Prabhupada would stay there, doing his typing all day. He would wash his clothes and he would sleep there. But for food, he has to walk all the way back to where Ramamurthy Mishra is staying, where Prabhupada would cook, feed, and eat. And some of the assistants of Ramamurthy Mishra also recollect about Prabhupada. They said he was very particular that he should cook his own food. He will say, bring me potato. When I bring the potato, he will say, too small. Then I will come with another potato. He will say, too big. I will bring a third potato. And he will bring a vessel. He will say, bring me a vessel. That vessel again, like that. And then she says, Prabhupada taught me how to make chapatis and other things. So like that, everybody developed a strong liking to him. And Ramamurthy Mishra would take classes. Prabhupada will sit in a corner chanting. Sometimes Ramamurthy Mishra will say, do a kirtan. Then Prabhupada will do a kirtan. But Prabhupada cannot speak. This is what is going on here. And one day like this, everybody was sitting and everybody was meditating on a circle on the wall. And Prabhupada was sitting in a corner with his tilak and a shawl and he is chanting peacefully. One man walked in. His name is R.V. Cohen. He walked in, R.V. Cohen. And he was new in Ananda Ashram. And he had enrolled for a course, weekend course. And he also sat down. He tried to meditate, but he was not able to meditate. He was getting bored. He was looking out of the window, beautiful lake and clouds. He was more interested in that but not in the meditation. After some time, but this Harvey Cohen saw Prabhupada and he was very attracted. He saw Prabhupada's serene face, completely absorbed in his chanting with his tilak and all. He was very drawn to him. Then Harvey Cohen got out from the meditation place and he went to his room. After some time, he saw Prabhupada was also standing outside his room and Prabhupada said, "May I come in?" So he said, "Yes, come." And Prabhupada started talking to him. Prabhupada said, "What for you have come?" He said, "I have come to learn Hatha Yoga." Prabhupada said, "That's all useless. I will teach you something very high. I will teach you Bhakti Yoga, the process of devotion to God. That is what will lead you to perfection." And Harvey Cohen says, I felt something happening inside me, which was like ecstasy. Something within me told me that he is the man who will show you the path. He is the man who will guide you to what you are looking for. Harvey Cohen says, this impression I got immediately. Later on, Prabhupada moved, then he would go regularly to the other room where Prabhupada is staying. You remember where Prabhupada was shunted out, no, by Ramurti Mishra. There he would go regularly. Harvey Cohen would have regular meetings with Srila Prabhupada and discussion. Then Prabhupada shifted out of that room to another rented room. That means Prabhupada rented another room. Up to now he was staying free. But now he had to rent another room because this room was very uncomfortable. Prabhupada shifted to another room in the same building. And Harvey Cohen found that room for him. And Prabhupada was staying there. And another day, Prabhupada went to give a talk in Tagore Society. This Tagore Society was regularly calling philosophers to give classes. So one day, Prabhupada was giving class. Dawood Harun, he went for that meeting. Dawood Harun. And he entered the hall. Meeting had not yet started. Only a few people were sitting at the back. And he wanted to sit in the front. When he went there, he saw one old man sitting there. He went and sat next to him. So the old man started talking to him. Who are you? Are you from India? Are you a Hindu? This man replied, no, I am not from India. I am an American only. And I am a Muslim. So Prabhupada said, very good, very good. And then there was an announcement from the stage saying, now Srila Prabhupada, 12.Srila in the Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada will give a lecture on God consciousness. Then immediately Prabhupada got up and then only this man realized, oh, the person who I came to hear was only talking to me. Then Prabhupada said, see, young man, I have kept some books here for sale purpose. Please look after them until I finish my lecture and come down. So Prabhupada went up to the stage. He talked about God consciousness to the people. And there were many people interested in that subject matter. And then Prabhupada came down. Before coming down, Prabhupada announced that I have brought these Bhagavatam books, which will teach you about the science of God. Whoever is interested, you can buy them. They are $16, the price. And then Prabhupada came down. Immediately, many people came and surrounded. Some of them were asking questions to Prabhupada. Some of them were asking about the book. Some of them wanted to buy. Then Prabhupada requested Dawood Harun, please, while I am talking to these people, answering questions, please sell the books. And whatever money, $16, you take from them, put them in this box. Like that, Prabhupada gave him a box also. And in the meantime, the crowd was standing around Prabhupada. Many people came to buy books also from Dawood Harun. And Prabhupada was answering this. Slowly, the crowd became less and less and less. Ultimately, only these two people were left. And Prabhupada thanked Dawood Harun, and he also bought one book, Bhagavatam book from Srila Prabhupada. So these are the little stories that you come, because so painstakingly they have reconstructed the early days of Srila Prabhupada. So we can somehow feel part of this whole history by reading and listening to these things. So that's why I am sharing with you. Maybe in the coming days, we will meet these people again in some other setting. So please note down these names. When you see these names again, you may recollect, oh, this is how they met Prabhupada. Because these are not ordinary things, no? These are the time, like in law, when I used to study about contract act, they will say a lighted match and a train of gunpowder. There is a train of gunpowder and there is a lighted match. What happens when the match touches the train of gunpowder? There is an explosion. Like that, here are the souls which are wandering in the universe, looking for a connection all these days. But now they are meeting their spiritual master and that explosion is taking place. So these things must be very, very interesting for us. We also, if we look at our past, somehow we got a connection with the devotee, and that is how our life got transformed. Anyway, so Prabhupada is now thinking 17th November is my last day. I have to go back to India. If I don't click something, that I can maintain myself here in America. So he's writing to Sumati Morarji to finance him to buy a building, to set up a Balakrishna temple. Because Sumati Morarji is a Pushtimargi. She worships Balakrishna. So he is writing to her. No response. He is writing to Tirtha Maharaj of Gaudiya Math. Gaudiya Math headquarters is in Mayapur and Tirtha Maharaj is the head of that headquarters. If you recollect, sometime back I have shared with you when Gaudiya Math broke up after the departure of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Two people were competing for that highest position of Acharya. One of them was called Ananta Vasudev. He was a sannyasi. And Tirtha Maharaj is the other person who was also contending. And Tirtha Maharaj succeeded to get the Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Mayapur. So Prabhupada has earlier met him also and requested him for sannyas. At that time, again, Tirtha Maharaj was not very supportive. So now again, he is writing to him and saying, I am not a man to be disappointed. This is what Prabhupada writes in that letter to Tirtha Maharaj. And again, requesting him, please help me to buy a building for $1 lakh. And help me by sending men. Because this is what our Guru wanted to do. This is not my mission. This is our Guru's mission. So it is your duty to help me. I have come here. There are interested people. But see, the Christians have come to India. They have set up thousands of churches for preaching. And where are we? We have no temple here in America. We need to have a temple. We need to have a base. Please help me. Nothing much came. Tirtha Maharaj also did not respond. But Prabhupada is not a man to be disappointed. He doesn't know from where the help will come, but he is tapping all the doors. He is executing the mission of his Guru and of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he is not a person to be disheartened. If he had become disheartened, then we will not be here today. If Prabhupada had not continued from 1965 till 1977, continuously writing books, publishing books, distributing books, giving lectures, accepting disciples, opening temples all over the world, traveling 14 times around the globe, tolerating his own personal inconveniences, diseases, heart attacks, and so many things, old age, we will not be here today. So we are all extremely fortunate. So when we hear the story of Prabhupada, if tears come to our eyes, these are tears of gratitude. And more such tears of gratitude we shed for Prabhupada, guarantee we will progress in Krishna consciousness. As one man, single man, if he could do so much for Krishna, the reason is he is a lover of Krishna. The Krishna prem is very much alive in his heart. And a connection with a sadhu like that is very powerful. That we have connection with Prabhupada is not physically in front of us that we can see and talk, but Prabhupada is talking through his books and through his devotees. So we can connect to ISKCON, we can connect to the devotees of ISKCON, we can connect to the gurus of ISKCON, we can connect to the books of Srila Prabhupada. So that way, Prabhupada has left a legacy for all of us. And hearing the story of Prabhupada, hearing how much he has struggled, not for himself, but for all of us, for posterity, not only the people of his times, but even today we are getting the benefit. 50 years later, after the passing of Prabhupada, knowing all these things, Prabhupada was struggling. So thank you very much for joining. And we will meet again next week. Now you will notice that our pace is in one sense slowing down. Yes? What do you think? Hare Krishna. Devotees, do you think we are slowing down? Our pace?
No, Prabhuji. No,
See,
Prabhuji, we are
Prabhuji, in terms
relishing
of,
whatever.
we covered 70 years of Prabhupada's life in about 10 or 11 sessions. And we covered 30 days of his life in the last session. In today's session also, it is somewhere between 30 days to 60 days. And now we are in 1965, September, October, November. And our story will go till 1977, right? November. So 12 years, how long we will take? Is it okay with you?
Yes, Prabhuji, it is very clear. Though it is low. Very clear, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So we'll proceed like this. As it goes, we will go. I am taking from Prabhupada Lilamrt. Truly, the earlier chapters, it covered a long period of time. But now the chapters are only the voyage, one chapter. And the life in Boston, Butler, Pennsylvania, one chapter, 1 month. So today, actually, I have combined 2 chapters, but still it is only 2 months. So, but it's really heartening. We are hearing about Prabhupada means we are hearing about Krishna because Prabhupada is a pure devotee of Krishna. So, a devotee of Krishna, a pure devotee carries all the qualities of Krishna. So, by hearing about him, slowly these qualities will also develop in us. So, in this mood of gratitude and humility, we close this session. I look forward to joining you all again next week. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, your description of it makes us want to buy the book immediately.
I am glad. Every time someone buys a book, please let me know.
I've not been able to find time to go to the temple there. It's a bit far communication, but I'll go there and buy one.
Yeah, this is an amazing book. Of course, this will not be the last book you buy because there are so many biographies today we have about Prabhupada.
If one reads the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita, these two itself are enough for a lifetime. But the others are very special.
But Lilamrt is something very special. I am telling you.
The account of one single person doing so much is amazing. It's really amazing.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yes.
Prabhuji, since we are discussing this, Prabhuji, about Lilamrita, I just have a small doubt, Prabhuji. My daughter, I purchased this book last month, Prabhuji,
Okay.
by his mercy.
Okay.
And so my daughter has started reading it, Prabhuji.
Jai.
And I really don't know. I have been telling her, read Bhagavad Gita and other small books of Krishna, Prahlad Maharaj, Narsingadev. So she never used to read. Prahlad Maharaj and Narsingadev she has read. But Bhagavad Gita she never used to take. Only that one shloka she stuck with. So, but I always feel